We are live. Bam. How's it going, everybody? Another week, another episode of the Everybody and Their Mom podcast. The podcast that everybody and their mom is fucking listening to. How we doing? How we doing? Episode 85. Another week, another episode. Hope you're doing well. I was telling you, coming back to our regularly scheduled Sunday episodes, either in the morning or in the evening, depending. Probably gonna go back to the evening now that August is coming back in, football season starting soon, and we're gonna jump in, back into the swing of the schedule. Um, this week was kind of hectic, kind of stressful. Took the bar. Saw Spider Man. I'm gonna jump into that in a sec. Watched some UFC, and for the most part, just been taking it day by day, chilling as of now. Coming at you with another pod. So hope y'all doing well. I'm gonna jump right into the first topic of the day, which I should be. Let me see the Bucks schedule right here. Because if you guys have seen this few weeks, like pretty much for the last 2 months now, I've been going over a different team, NFL team, every single week, and going over their schedule in preparation for the season and the fantasy season, and mainly focusing on the teams that my buddies root for, that my friends root for. So for this one, Steven, one of my buddies, he's a Buccaneers fan and a Patriots fan, more Pats, but here we go. Starting in week one, they're a division rival too, so it'll be a very similar schedule to see how they stack up in the division. From me being a Saints fan, so week one at the Bengals, that was probably going to be an L. Um, it being on the road, Cincinnati's going to be on fire, opening the season. Dealing with no injuries, then being fresh. Uh, Potential shootout here in the sense that because of the lackluster Bengals defense, but I think ultimately the Bengals win this one out at home, probably with both teams scoring 20 plus points. That one's in the morning, a 10 a.m. game. And then week two versus the Browns. Okay, there we go. Week two, that's a win. Cleveland, rebuilding team. Some weapons on offense, but not as much as Tampa, I would say. And the defense, I would say, leaned towards Tampa Bay. That was in the morning as well. And then week three versus Minnesota at home. I think I gave them the win here, considering they're at home and it's an afternoon game here, so it's a 1 o'clock game or 4 for them. Kyler is going to be early season. Kyler is going to be relatively good weather in Tampa. Outside, I think both teams probably score a lot of points here. Justin Jefferson, especially, goes off a bit. Well, probably. I can see him scoring. I can see him going off and scoring. So yeah, but week three, I definitely think Tampa being at home gives them that advantage. Then week four versus the Packers, I think that's an L there. Yeah, Sunday in the morning at home. Packers going there on the road. Should be a close one here. I think the Packers offense leaves a little bit to be desired, especially on the road. But I think their ability to run the ball, whoever can run the ball in that game is going to be, I think we'll have a very big advantage. But I think I trust the Packer defense a little bit more in that one. So give me the Packers. And that one's also a morning game. So no primetime game until week five. First primetime game. At Dallas. Ooh. I think they can win that one, actually. Because it's a Thursday night game in Jerry World. Teams usually do really well on the road there. At least they put up points. Yeah, I see this as a potential shootout. Week five, we'll see. We'll see about week five. Week five. That looks like a turning point game for them, because if they win that one, I think they can set themselves up for success later down the line. And then week six, they have an extra couple days to prepare for Pittsburgh. Week six being at home. Yeah, I think that's a win there. Yeah. Pittsburgh, I think, is kind of like the most average of a team as you can imagine. Rogers last year, their defense is solid, but isn't that great just anymore. Weapons on offense are okay, but nothing spectacular. So yeah, I would say the Buccaneers at home on that one, especially with the few days extra for preparation. And then week 7 at Carolina. I think they split with the Panthers and probably the Falcons. Hmm. Yeah, this is also another morning game. Hmm. Yeah, because Carolina won the division, and their defense was, I think, better than Tampa's. Both offenses are pretty similar. Yeah, I think is on the road here. I'm gonna give that one to Carolina in a close divisional win. Speaking of division games, week 8 at home against Atlanta. I think they split them. So since that one's at home, morning game, Sunday in the morning in Tampa. Give me Tampa Bay. Week 9, here we go. This is a Sunday night game in Chicago, early November. Yeah, give me Chicago. Tampa, Florida team going into Chicago early November at night, Sunday night with that Chicago offense and defense. Yeah, give me the Bears. And then week 10 bye. So after week 10, I have them going 6-4, potentially 6-3, or potentially 5-4, either one after 10 weeks, which is actually a pretty good season, I would say. I think I would lean 5-4 a little bit more, but yeah, not bad. Uh, week 11 at Detroit. I think that's an L there. Indoor game. Both teams score a lot of points, but I think the Lions at home make one fewer or less mistakes to win that one. And it's Sunday. Yeah, it's a Sunday game, so Detroit. Yeah, give them that one in the morning. And then here we go, Monday night. This one's the win for them, the split. So week 12, Monday night at home this time against Carolina. That's the win there. And then week 13. Oh, it's a morning game for the Chargers. Damn, my buddy the Chargers fan, he even tells me when they go on the road on West Coast to the East Coast in the morning, this being it, Sunday game, yeah, that's a win for them. I don't know why, but the Chargers just don't travel well. We'll keep week 13 as like an asterisk though for now. And then week 14, yeah, at Baltimore, that's an L. Yep, mid December in Baltimore, at least in the morning game. Florida team going there. I think Baltimore, their ability to run the football is going to be key. And then being at home, I think Baltimore wins. I think both teams could put up points in that one though. Oh, week 15. Oh wow, they play the Saints really late in the season. I think against the Saints. Let me see. This is a Sunday game in the morning, so it'll be relatively kind of warm. I think that they will probably win that one. They lost to them last year, so we'll see there. But I don't know. I think week 15 we'll put an asterisk for now, but I'll give them the win. And then week 16, since it's a road game at Atlanta, then it's an L, the split there. And then week 17 versus the Rams. Yeah, the Rams would think they're a better team than they are, even though it's a home game. I think the Rams are just probably the best team in the odds-on favorite right now with their offense and defense capability. Just a discrepancy. But it's former teams, so maybe Baker, goes off a little bit. And then week 18, the split with the Saints, that's probably an L to finish off the season. I think that game might be for the division, to be honest. But it being in New Orleans, I think that's considered a considerable factor in the Saints' favor. So, damn, finishing off the season with 3 straight L's. Yeah, and they win the Saints one, probably lose to the Ravens. And then week 13 is an asterisk as well because with the Chargers, So really, the Saints, Chargers, and Week 5. Who was that again? Oh, the Cowboys. Yeah, so the Saints, Chargers, and Cowboys games, I think, are very key for their season. Because if they can pull those off, which I think they can pull off the Saints and Chargers. Actually, I think they can pull off all three. So assuming they pull off all three, that puts them at 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9. Oh boy. So even assuming I give them those wins, that still puts them at 8 and 9. Oh boy. And assuming they don't get those wins, that puts them at 5 and 12. I don't think they're that bad. I don't think they're gonna be that bad this season. Only like injuries because they did lose some players like Evans. They're losing. I think Vita Vea wants to be traded. That's a big loss to their defensive line. But they still have some weapons. You know, Buka. They lost Rashad White, but they brought in some guys to replace him. But I don't know. They just feel kind of stale, and their schedule. You know, I mean, it's not easy, but it's not too hard because they play the Bengals. It's pretty tough. The Packers, the Cowboys are kind of tough on the road. The Bears on the road, the Lions on the road, the Chargers, the Ravens on the road, and the Rams, and not to mention that's already 8 games that are pretty tough, and not to mention their divisional rivals, which I believe they're good enough to probably split with everybody. So that's 3 losses there. So that's 11 games out of 17. That's not like they're not gimmies. So yeah, I think they're about like an 8-win team. I think Tampa Bay, yeah. I think Tampa is about an 8-win team. I don't think that's good enough to win the division though. I think it's gonna come down to either I think either the Saints or the Panthers, considering the Panthers are still the division champion. I think the Saints Panthers is gonna be one of them too. Falcons, I don't think so because of the quarterback situation. In their defense lost some players, uh, some talent, but I think it'll be a close two horse race between the Panthers and Saints in the end for the NFC South. But yeah, I think I did one of those two, either Panthers or Saints. um, let's see for the first topic. Let's go over quickly yesterday's topic. Yesterday's UFC event was a good one. There was, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 finishes out of I believe like 13 fights. Only 3 of them went to decision. No, 2. Only 2 of them went to decision. So only 2. It was in Serbia, so it was really early. One parlay for me cashed. So then my second one lost because of I had a feeling about him too. Mexican mullet Gilbert Urbina. I had a feeling about him too. It was that mullet man. The second one lost, but I recuperated later on with the third one. And then I was gonna bet on Malcolm Roach, but I did not, so I'm happy about that. But yeah, had shout out to Medic, Sterling, fantastic performances. Same with Rakic, Valentine, same thing, good performance, and for Urbina for getting those crazy upsets as well as Gugnan, 2 crazy upsets to start off the main card. But yeah, I mean, the whole event was fantastic. I mean, even the women got first round stoppages. Well, that's not to mention the first round stoppage. I think there was 10 of them. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 first round finishes uh, for yesterday's event. So it was fantastic. It was really good. Really, really, really exciting to watch. Hopefully, this card this week is going to be good as well. We're back at our 2 o'clock. We're back at it. Let's take a look. It's an Apex event. Ooh, it's actually pretty good on paper. Let's take a look though, on top to bottom. Juliana Miller versus Ravina Oliveira. I think Oliveira. I think it's her debut. Let me see. No, she's on a one fight. Oh no, she hasn't won a fight in the UFC. Okay, so she hasn't won a single fight at 7-4 in the UFC against Juliana Miller, who I think is kind of trash. Also, she has only won one fight, two fights in the UFC. So both these girls are pretty trash. It's pretty much the loser gets cut. Um, I wouldn't pick them. I don't know. Both are trash. But cut both of them. That's what I would say. Then we have Souza against Richie. Let me see. Souza 14-1. Richie. Wait, is it not full screen? No. Richie didn't make his debut. Okay. So Souza has how many losses? 14-1. Well, I would say pick him, but since I don't have the stats on Richie, I will stay away from this one too. All right, let's go Amanda Lemos against Alexia Tainara. Lemos, I think, is coming off. Yeah, she's just coming off 2-fight losing streak. Meanwhile, Alexia, 3-fight win streak. Yeah, oh, she hasn't lost a fight in this. For this company. Yeah, I think Alexia is probably a lock for that one against Amanda. Amanda's pretty old too. Alexia looks young, spry. An athlete. Trying to compete for. Trying to get at least a top 10 ranking, which Amanda has. So give me that. Ooh, Steven Asplund. Here we go. This guy is the former like obese guy going up against. Ooh, Guillermo Pat. This is not going to be easy for him. Oh, he's coming off a big loss against Peterson. Oh, Peterson's trash too. Yeah, give me Asplund, dude. Oh, didn't he lost to Petrino? Oh, his first fight he won, but Petrino beat him. That's right. That's right. But he did a good performance against them. I'll still root for Asplund. He's like one of those that's gonna fight for your money. If you guys don't know, he was like obese, lost a lot of weight, and now he looks like shit. Like his body looks terrible, but he's still fighting. He's fighting, doing good. DR against Bruno. Okay, so 11-2. Coming on 1-fight win streak against Bruno. Lost to Sterling, Jacoby. Yeah, I guess give me DR because he's on a two. He's not on a 2-fight losing streak, but both these guys look kind of. Looks like both these guys one shot could change the whole fight. So leaning DR, but not as confident. And then Ty Miller against Billy Ray Goff. Oh, those are terrible tattoos. 2-fight losing streak and hair. Let me see. Ty Miller, 1-fight win streak against Fuck It. Yeah, I guess give me Miller. So DR Miller. I'm not confident in these picks though. Then we got Louis Sutherland against Jose Montana da Silva, making his debut. I think Sutherland's kind of trash. Oh, he won his last fight against Tuivasa. That's funny. He lost to Walter Walker and Perisic. So he kept his oh, dude, he just looks terrible. Yeah, give me Da Silva, even though I can't even see how he looks like. Give me Da Silva. Then Miles Johns against Rosas making his debut. Yeah. I think Miles Johns is like lost 3 fights in a row. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. He's lost 3 in a row. He kind of has to win this one. So give me Rosas in that. Especially making his debut. Then we have Elkins. Oh my god, Darren the Damage Elkins. Dude, that guy's one of the worst tattoos I've seen. Against Jan Del Valle. He lost to Levitt. That's funny. Elkins, I think he's trash though. He's kind of washed. Yeah, he's kind of washed. Give me Del Valle. Not confident in that one, but still give it to him. Give him to me. Oh, there's no undercard in this. That's funny. It's just a card. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 fights on it. That's funny. Just straight up. Wait, so it's gonna start at 5 and just go on to 11. That's funny. It's just 11 straight fights. So it'll be 2, 6, and 2 more 7, 2 more 8, 2 more 9, 2 more 10. Dude, this is gonna end at like 10:30, almost 11 o'clock. This event on Saturday. That's hilarious. So then we got Diego Ferreira against Billy. I think Billy's lost his last few. Yeah, he's on a 2-fight losing streak. I think Diego's not as good either. Yeah, also on a 2-fight losing. Why are two guys in 2-fight losing streaks in the co-main? I don't like either of these guys. Give me Diego. But the main event, Gamrot against Salkill, dude, give me Salkill, man. This is gonna be a good fight. Gamrot, let me see. He beat Esteban, that's a good win. Lost to Oliveira, beat Klein, it's a good win, like hindsight. But killing, man, this fucker, 12-1, just been knocking motherfuckers out, dude. First round, yeah. Give me Salkill. Really, the only ones I feel confident in are Alexia and Salkild. Those are the two that I feel like really confident in actually picking. Not Diego. Oh, and Del Valle. I think Darren is kind of washed. Yeah, the rest are just kind of like fucking debut fighters trying to keep make a name for themselves against people trying to keep their careers alive in the UFC. So there's that. There's the Buck schedule in UFC. Let's check our weekly MLB update. The fucking baseball. You know what it is. Let's see here. Let's see who has more than 60 wins this week. Let's see in the AL. More than 60 wins. Let's see. The Rays still, the Yankees. Let's see who else. Nobody. Only the Red Sox and White Sox have 59, followed by the Astros. But I'm only gonna do like really the top three, because really top three, top four of the divisions what matter. The Guardians and the Rangers are behind them. So, but it's really just a two horse race still. It looks like it's the Rays, Yankees, and Red Sox and White Sox, followed by the Astros. I guess we put them in there too, because they're league in their division. Then the National League. Let me see. We got the Braves with over 60 wins, the Brewers, the Cubs, the Dodgers leading the MLB with 69 wins. Oh, I didn't see how many had the lowest amount of wins in the American League. The Angels with 43 wins. Oh boy, Angels. Come on, Farron, need some more wins. And then the Braves. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 teams with more than 60, followed by the Phillies and Diamondbacks with 59. The team with the least amount of wins are still the Rockies with 45. And my Marlins are 3 games above 500, but 9.5 games behind first place. That is our weekly baseball update. They are about 110 games into the season, so only like 50 games left, boys. Only like 50 games. Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh wait, no, that was the UFC prediction. Sorry. Okay. Let's see. As far as that is, let's see our movie calendar for our movie updates. Spider-Man did just come out, and we're gonna get into that in 1 second. Our discussion on that. Full spoilers for anyone that hasn't seen it yet, so be careful with that. Okay. So it's really just Spider-Man and the Odyssey that are doing well in the theaters right now. Coming up soon is the end of Oak Street. New Paw Patrol. Okay. A new Super Troopers. Okay. A new Insidious. Coyote versus Acme. Okay. Practical Magic 2 in September. New Resident Evil in September. The Digger movie with Tom Cruise in October, Social Reckoning in October, Street Fighter in October, Clayface in October as well. A New Cat in the Hat, New Godzilla in November. Same with New Hunger Games, a Rocky biopic, a new Avenger. Oh, and then the Avengers and Doomsday coming out, and Werewolf in December to close out the year. So it's really not till like I want to say October that it starts to heat up again in the theaters. Maybe September with Resident Evil and Practical Magic 2, maybe. And then we gotta see how Coyote vs. Acme does too to close out August. But and Insidious also, so not bad. Not bad, not bad, not bad, not bad, not bad. Not a bad a bad release. Considering we just had Spider-Man, The Odyssey, A New Evil Dead, Minions, Supergirl, Toy Story 5 doing well. Master of the Universe, Backrooms, Obsession, and I think Mortal Kombat 2. Yep, all these doing well. All doing well in the theater. Oh, just give me one quick second. I'm just gonna get some water. Sorry about that. I had to get some water real quick. I forgot to get a bottle when I started, but yeah, just because I'm house sitting and watching the dogs. Brother's playing Black Ops in another room, so didn't want to retract from the noise and stuff. But let's hop into Spider-Man. Here we go. Doing very well at the box office. I think it's already made. Yeah, it made already 927 mil. So it's internationally 570, and then I think domestically at like 350. Yeah, 355. So making it, I think, the second biggest opening ever. I think the first biggest opening was, I believe, Infinity War and Endgame. Let's see. Highest opening weekend of all time. I think it's Infinity War or Endgame. Yeah, Endgame. Followed by Brand New Day and No Way Home. Yeah, so followed by Spider-Man 4, Spider-Man 3. That makes sense considering he's the most popular Marvel character in the most popular film franchise. So let's take a look. So full spoilers here. We're jumping in. Let's see. What grade do I give this film? I give it a B plus after much thought and consideration. So like I said, full spoilers. If you haven't seen the movie, don't, I warned you. So let me see. IMDb gives it about a 8.2. Fandango 98. Rotten Tomatoes 90. Let's see what IMDb says here. Just a quick little run through. Yeah, so I'm like around right here also, like around the 26%. Yeah, like around here is where I generally give the movie like 8, 9, 10 range, definitely, I would say. It's definitely good. Let's start off with positives. Always start off with the positives. Let's see what's Rotten Tomatoes. See if the audience is different from anything here. Yeah, both 90, 98. Nice, solid. Solid, solid, solid. So for like a B plus, I guess you could say like just below 90, I would give it. Which is just like around where most people have it. My so what I loved about it. I liked the action, specifically the Hulk fight, the Punisher scenes, and uh, I guess I would say, oh, the hand fight was pretty cool too. When you fought the martial arts gang in the little enclosed like prison space, like cell, like prison cell space going up. Um, what else did I enjoy? I guess the way he swung, when he went throughout the city, swinging around, it was funny. The performances were what were done very well. Mm, I like they stayed away from. I like that it was grounded. They kept him, like friendly neighbor to Spider Man. It wasn't too like any out of the ordinary. They kept it in New York. They sprinkled in other heroes uh like I mentioned, Hulk, Punisher, Elena. So like he exists within like a grander world, but doing his own thing. The color palette was good for the most part. There were just some parts like where it was kind of gray, but that's because they filmed in London, so I understand. I've been there. It's really really gray there. But the color, that's the thing. The colors really popped out because of it. Like the reds, the blues, were really done well in this. Um, and I guess the camaraderie with the cast, like you could tell everybody gets along really well. Everybody had a lot of chemistry with one another, especially after all this time working together. Um, let's see. So the action, yeah, special effects were good. There was nothing like crazy bad. Some of the background shots were like, yeah, you could tell this was filmed in CG because they're filling that in. But other than that, it was good. It was fine. Nothing bad. Um, yeah, I guess that's the positives. For the negatives, though, I would say I think I just didn't like the direction they were taking in this film because of the repercussions that I felt from No Way Home. So so this is just like okay, like I don't like the movie for not doing what I wanted it to do. I just thought it was gonna do something else, but it didn't live up to that. And what I mean by that is for example, in the trailers, they were really showcasing that always going to be fighting all these different, the scorpion, the hand, etc. But really, these were really tombstone. But really, these were like montages that was done in the beginning of the film, the very beginning of the film, and I felt we were kind of like hoodwinked and just were almost tricked into seeing that. Um, I also didn't like that it felt as if there were two different movies going on. One was him dealing with isolation from his friends and family and how that's affecting his like I guess mutation or transformation. And the other story going on is him dealing with the greater Marvel as a whole, which deals with the introduction of the mutants, with its like damage control, and then that ties in Punisher and Hulk, which I feel that part of the movie is more interesting, just because it has to do with establishing the greater Marvel as a whole and not just Spider-Man. Don't get me wrong, I like Spider-Man as a character, but we're like four movies into this, and we're still doing the whole Zendaya, Michelle Johnson, like just like snarky, rude, um, love interest and jolly, chubby, nerdy, best friend that tags along. And he does important things like for example he made the app, he made the tracker, so he does really important things, but they don't they neither of them ever feel like they're in danger. And that's where I felt like with Spider-Man 3 with No Way Home that they were gonna move on to an entirely new cast, for example. Like I thought they were gonna introduce Harry. I thought they were gonna introduce, maybe an actual Mary Jane, a different universe's Mary Jane, Gwen Stacy, a Spider Woman, something like just something that they haven't done yet, or but I don't know. They rehashed more of the old, which isn't bad. Just to say, it's just I thought they were gonna do something new, because considering they're calling it brand new day, new characters, new situations, new everything. But we're still twiddling our thumbs with Ned, and don't get me wrong, he's funny. The actress, has good on-screen charisma. I get laughs out of it, and Zendaya too, like her character, with the whole like "oh I don't love you" thing, and the whole twist when they kissed, and it was Gene inside the whole time. Like it was well executed, but ultimately I just felt like there was a big misstep there where they could have moved on and pivoted to somewhere else, or maybe even done um maybe even like a death, maybe deal with like the actual death of one of the characters, or the loss of one of them, because it was really just like it, the day I found out, and she was mad because he made that decision for her, but or whatever. But it was like wait, but at the time, like that's all they could have done. And you were, and it's the thing too, where it's like you were cool with it then, but now you're not cool with it now because of the lack of information that you didn't have then as to now. And it's like, well, if we were in the same situation making the wish at that very moment, literally all the multiverse was about to collapse. So literally everybody forgets who I am, or no one exists. So which one do you want? And it's like this is the best I can do. Like yeah, you forgot, but I mean, Doctor Strange makes his friends forget everything all the time. And I'm not saying that's good or justifies it, but it's better than the multiverse being collapsed. But that's not gonna matter now because Doom's gonna collapse it. So yeah, I guess it didn't really matter. It just I don't know. I think there was too much of the friends where we could have had more time with Punisher, 'cause I thought his scenes were a lot better, with, Sadie being Jean Grey, fleshing out the mutants a little bit more because they barely touched on it. They showed her and her sister and their powers and briefly what they can do, but nothing crazy. At first, I thought she was gonna play Chameleon or something because the way she was, like, not being able to be seen and would, like, jump in and out of people, but no, they made it kinda obvious. That was another thing. The script and story were kind of obvious. Nothing was very predictable, except for that. I mean, that one thing, like I mentioned before, the when Zendaya was like, "Oh, I'm gonna kiss you," and then you think because the normal Hollywood thing is that she would remember, but she didn't remember. Um, Instead, Ned remembered because of the handshake, and when Zendaya was like Peter, and he's like, "Wait, who's Peter? I remember Peter. What?" And so okay, like, that was fine, but um, let me see what else was the negatives. Some of, like I said, the swinging when he's swinging in the city, this is nitpicks. It was kind of gray at times, but I get it to make it like the contrast of the character. I didn't really like the whole damage control people. They were kind of like obvious too. Like the guy was like, yeah, he's not telling you the truth. Like it's kind of obvious. Same with the cop lady. She just seemed like um like she couldn't do her job. Um, who else did I not like? There was no Jameson, J. Jonah Jameson. That's bad. The negative there. The positive, there's no Flash. The new Flash they got kind of trash. Um, so yeah, like I mentioned, that's like another opportunity to introduce Harry, an actual Harry Osborn, Norman Osborn. There's that. You can introduce Black Cat. You can introduce so many other characters. You can introduce Gwen Stacy, an actual Mary Jane. You can introduce, man, a lot. Venom. Like what the fuck? Like what are they gonna do with Venom? Like in Secret Wars, I guess. But uh, I guess overall, I would say. I guess my negative with this it's just the direction they're taking with the character, but I still ultimately like the movie, and its overall sequences and its performances and what the movie what ultimately was. The Aunt May scenes were cool. I just think I don't know. I think the second half was bogged down by the fact that they didn't really flesh out, didn't have the time to flesh out Sadie Sink and her character and the mutants and the X Men a little bit more. I thought they were kind of relegated to we were practicing our powers. The you guys damage control showed up, took my sister, killed her, and now we're in this situation where I'm just using my powers for my own selfish nihilistic reasons until Tom lets her get into her own head, into his own head, and then use the talk no jutsu. For if you guys don't know what I mean, where it's just you don't fight the villain to beat them, you just talk to them and then win. It works in Naruto, and I'm very nervous now because the director of this is adapting Naruto in live action, and I'm very nervous for that now because this is basically the same thing. And he did Shang Chi, and I'm just like, damn, dude, like, so it's gonna be like that same like color palette, that same like look, but with anime. And I'm just like, I don't know, I'm probably not gonna like it. Um, but overall, I mean, Spider Man was solid. I was telling my buddy Ronnie because he thinks I think a lot of people have recency bias. You know, they actually rewatch the Spider-Man movies like how I had recently. Spider-Man 1, the original Spider-Man is an A. Spider-Man 2 is an A plus. Spider-Man 3, I believe, is probably like a B minus. Probably B minus B range. Because yeah, a B. It's a B. It's a B. It's a B. Because Amazing Spider-Man 1 is a B minus, and Amazing Spider-Man 2 is the worst Spider-Man ever made. Um, because of similar reasons, too many storylines, not enough execution, and the characters were terribly designed. That one I would give a C minus, and then Homecoming I would say is an A. No Way Home is probably the worst one. I mean, Far From Home is probably the worst one of the Tom films. I would say that one's probably like a B minus also. Yeah. And then No Way Home, A plus with the three Spider-Mans. And then using this one, plugging this one into the formula, considering, because I'm looking at story, I'm looking at villain, I'm looking at action, effects, performances, light, like the little technical stuff for the film, and after that point, and overall just entertainment value for this one, Brand New Day, I think is a solid B plus, like a B plus, probably A minus if I was really feeling it. I guess that day specifically I wasn't feeling it that well, but Brand New Day I would think B plus, definitely B plus, because like I mentioned, you for me the peaks are Punisher and Hulk, and the Sadie Sink stuff was intriguing at first and kind of ended like, all right, like I don't know. They haven't really done a good job of introducing the mutants yet. Like they try to do it with Miss Marvel, and then at the end of the Marvels with the after credits and Beast, but it just it didn't hit. And same with this, it was like you say it like you're saying Jean Grey, you're saying she's in it, you're saying she's enhanced or whatever as powers, but it's not. It's just not hitting the same. I don't know. Um, I'm thinking this is gonna do well. I mean, Secret Wars coming out after Doomsday. Um, and in the after credits, they were teasing Miles from the little app thing, a different Spider-Man in a different universe. So it's probably Miles, if not him, is gonna be Toby. But I think they're gonna kill off Toby in Doomsday, so that way the like people know that like, oh, we mean business, like, oh, we're serious about this one or whatever. So I think in Doomsday it's gonna be the OG X-Men against the new Fantastic Four against the new Avengers. They all lose. Doom wins in the end, setting up Secret Wars, where the leads are gonna be two Spider-Men on Tom and the new Miles, with Pedro Pascal, Fantastic Mr. Fantastic, and some other character. I don't know who the fourth one is. I was thinking Doctor Strange, but he's a servant to Doom, which leaves me to believe maybe Star Lord is a member of the Guardians, maybe, or If they needed a girl in there, maybe Yelena. Maybe Yelena if they wouldn't go that route, considering she's like the leader of the new Avengers technically, but I don't think so. But they're doing it that way. Mm. And then in Secret Wars, it's going to be because Doom. The whole point of Doom is he's trying to get his wife and daughter. But what he's going to do is collapse the multiverse and make his own reality where he essentially, well, that's what they do in the comics. He takes Mr. Fantastic's life. He marries with Sue. He has a kid with her, and he's the leader of the Fantastic Four. And he like kind of like sends them away. And those heroes that I mentioned like make a team: Mr. Fantastic, Spider Man's, and others. You know, Black Panther, Namor, Star Lord. They come together and defeat Doom in the end, and they started a single timeline, a single Marvel timeline for just make it easy to follow. Like screw the multiverse, like just one easy thing for everybody to follow, and just the movies. You don't gotta watch Disney Plus that much anymore. You don't if you want to, that's cool, but you don't have to. Um, it'll be everything on everything Marvel under one umbrella. So the Venom movies, the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, the Avengers, Spider-Man, etc., whatever, all under one thing, and that's what I think they're gonna do, from my knowledge and what understanding of what's going on. But yeah, Doomsday coming out later on in December. This was just the full spoilers for it. Sadie Sink was good. Jean Grey, the way they displayed her powers, that was negative too. It was pretty much the same way they did the animation for or the effects for Invisible Woman. They gave her the yellow like sweater thing, so I don't know. It was just kind of like I feel like executed kind of not to its fullest extent because, like I mentioned, they were kind of dragged down by these other storylines, but not bad, not bad, not bad. But yeah, I mean, like I mentioned, overall B plus. Hulk fight and Punisher scenes, I think, are worth the price of admission alone. Um, as well as the fight with the hand. Those three scenes, those three sequences alone, or those three parts entirely. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that one. And this week's episode, I mean, kind of went over everything I had to. Buccaneers, UFC, baseball, and Spider Man. Yep. Nothing really yet for next week until NFL preseason starting and college football starting at the end of the month. So we'll get that going. But hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode. I'll end it there. Another one next week around the same time, Sunday evening. But hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode of the podcast. The podcast that everybody in the mom is fucking listening to.